Parish Catalyst started 10 years ago in Los Angeles through Bill Simon. And about 2 years ago, we became a part of the Renew International family. Renew was started 40 years ago by two priests who were really inspired by Vatican II and said, we want to do a better job of equipping the laity and starting communities of communities within parishes where people grow in their faith. And so
Mm,
they were really an innovator in small groups, which today small groups seem pretty normal, but 40 years ago they were not normal at all. So with
mm,
our desire at Parish Catalyst to help parishes experience renewal, it was a perfect fit.
mhm.
The initial endeavor of Parish Catalyst was this book, Great Catholic Parishes, where we interviewed 250 Catholic leaders around the country and identified these four practices that caused them to thrive. And the four things that we identified were that they excel on Sundays, they make the weekend mass experience the best it can be, they practice shared leadership. They really equip and empower laity to lead ministries and to help carry that responsibility of shepherding the people. They evangelize effectively. They look beyond the bulletin, as some would say, like to the people living in the community outside of their parish. And then they foster spiritual maturity. They don't just put people through programs. They really ask themselves, how can we really help these people grow in their faith in practical ways? Like at Renew, we say we connect faith with life, and that's what great parishes do.
Mm,
Our mission at Parish Catalyst is to encourage Catholic leaders to think creatively, act courageously, and renew the church. And we really think we saw this profoundly during COVID, right? That leaders that were willing to think creatively and try some new things and have courage continued to engage their people and are doing relatively good today. Most of them that I talked to, especially the ones that went through our processes, are doing as well or better financially today than they were 3 years ago.
mhm.
So we found that this kind of thinking is what really promotes parish renewal. We do that through webinars. We have a webinar library of over 50 webinars on parish renewal. You can find at our website. Joe, you could put a link to that in our chat window there. If you'd like to check it out, you can just click on the link that Joe's going to put in the chat window. On-site workshops, which is a version of what we're going to talk about today, and then learning communities. Learning communities are a 18-month process where a cohort of 10 parishes come together and they do 3 gatherings over 18 months. And really, this citywide workshop we're talking about in Orlando is kind of like a one-day mini learning community where 10 parishes come together. And this was a learning community meeting we did in Ventura, California recently, where 10 parish teams came together. But this workshop is going to be very similar to that. One topic for the day, and then one day, and then you leave with a plan, some action steps that you've determined for your parish on some things that you want to try to do differently to better engage parishioners.
Mhm.
So our process is unique. It involves learning, collaboration, strategic planning, and accountability. And through this, we see that parish innovation is ignited. The accountability piece for this citywide workshop is that when you pay to be a part of the workshop, of course, you get the full day workshop, you get lunch included, you get materials, you get access to the resources that we use during the workshop. But we're also going to do two 90-minute follow up consultations with you following the workshop. So we'll schedule those with you, but we'll say probably like, okay, we're going to do the workshop September 29th. We'd love to check back with you maybe beginning of November before you head into Advent to see, hey, how are you doing on these goals that you've set? Is there anything we can help you with? And then probably we'll do another check-in with you after the first of the year. And we found that that kind of accountability and ongoing coaching, it makes it where this is not just a one-day thing that you go to and take notes and say, well, that was really cool, and then nothing ever happens with them. I think we've all done that, right? We've all been to conferences or workshops and we go, man, that was great stuff. And then we fold up the spiral and we go home and we go back to keeping the plate spinning.
mm,
Well, we found that the accountability piece and the check-ins and the coaching ongoing is what really helps produce measurable change for parishes.
gotcha.
So, any questions so far?
The check-ins, how does that work? Is it telephone,
It
via
would be a
telephone?
Zoom call, and we'd invite you to bring any of your team to the call that you'd like, and
Okay,
we'll call in with you, and we'll set it up where we can see each other, and we'll actually give you some prompts to kind of walk through what you've done so far and what challenges you're facing, and then see if we can help you navigate some of those things.
gotcha.
The main thing is like the essence of Renew is that we're an accompaniment organization.
Mm,
We don't ever want you to feel like that we're just giving you a bunch of stuff to do and now you're out on your own. But we're
mm,
gonna, whether it's starting small groups or a workshop like this, we want you to know that we're with you in it and we're gonna help you through.
gotcha.
This is an image from a workshop I did in Minnesota, but it kind of gives you a picture of parish teams working together, talking with each other. You see multiple tables here, and it's an active, involved process. We don't just give you a curriculum and tell you to go do it. You really create the action steps that you're going to take.
Mm,
So I want to talk a little bit about that process and how it works, kind of the components of it. And we utilize this process whether it's a one-day workshop or whether it's a 18-month learning community. It's the same process and it's transferable to any topic that we're covering. It starts with an evaluation of how you're currently doing. From there, we infuse some learning and ideas, best practices. We have you as a team explore those ideas. Like, what would work for us? Have we tried this? What did we learn from it in the past? From that, you'll discern what actionable items are we going to take away from this. And then you'll create a short-term plan that has some owners of some goals, and you'll have due dates and deliverables. And we encourage you to create these plans on paper and to put them on the wall in the office where everyone can see. And so there's another step of accountability that really provides. So I'll walk through each of these real quick and kind of explain what they look like. Evaluation is where we ask you to look with regards to parishioner engagement, what's currently working, where are we stuck? For most parishes right now, it's that 20 to 30% that still hasn't come back. Who are those people? Where are they at in life? What questions are they wrestling with? And then what opportunities do we have that we've not really taken advantage of? And what questions do we have that we really are wrestling with the answers to? The learning part is where we bring content and information and ideas and best practices. So we'll be talking about what challenges are we facing after COVID. Do we really have a discipleship vision for our parishioners? What are some best practices that are working for other parishes to re-engage people? What are some common mistakes parishes make? How can we better empower our parishioners to be the ones that re-engage parishioners? And then how can we create an ongoing growth culture where this isn't just a one-time thing that we do, but it becomes a part of our the rhythm of our parish and our culture to continually invite and reach out to people.
mm,
The explore part is where we present some new ideas, as I said, some best practices. You ask yourselves, what if we tried this? Or why not try that? We really encourage you to have open-minded thinking in this. There may even be some things you've tried in the past that didn't work, but post-COVID, they might work. Zoom sacramental prep, pre-COVID, nobody was doing it.
mm,
Post-COVID, a lot of parishes are doing a Zoom hybrid where we do some video meetings, then you come to the parish and interact with each other live there. So there's a lot to reconsider, I think, when we talk about parishioner engagement.
mm,
The discern part is where you ask yourselves as a team, what are our aha moments here? What should our goals be? What are the best action steps for our parish? And this is something that really sets us apart from most of our other parish renewal organizations is we provide more of a buffet and some best practices and provide a structure for you to plan for the future. We don't give you a list of things that you need to do that may or may not be relevant to what's going on in your parish right now, but we'll help you discern those things. And then lastly, you create a plan that is involves due dates and action steps and measurables. And a lot of parishes aren't used to working with plans like this, but they, as the old adage goes, there's a couple of them. I love cliches, by the way. One is, if your goal is nothing in particular, that's exactly what you will accomplish. And another one is just simply plan your work and work your plan. And if a team plans their work and it has due dates and action items and people are held accountable to those things, that's when we really see things happen. One thing we hope with Parish Catalyst is that we don't just help you out with one topic or with one day. We hope that we give you some tools that you can transfer to different areas of your parish and bring back and say, hey, we could use this for sacramental prep, or we could use this for young adults ministry. Um, but that's the last part, is creating the plan. And that's, as I said, that's something that you do unique for your parish. So this is not something that's just new or something that we're unsure of. We've been doing this for 10 years. We did a 5-year study a couple years ago. 80% of the participants that we talked to experienced significant growth in key areas of parish life. This is about a 20-page document that we have from that research that we'd be happy to share with you. It's also available on our website.
Hmm.
So why does it work? I think I've highlighted all these things, but one, it's I didn't really touch on this one. There's a personal encounter experience to our meetings that each of us come into this meeting and ask God, how do I get engaged? How did I get engaged? What inspired me to be more involved in my parish? And from that, how might I help other people get engaged? There's the accompaniment aspect, there's collaboration. You'll be learning from other parishes as well that are in this meeting. There's unique plans and there's accountability. And I just want to share with you some images from some of these meetings so you can kind of get some sort of idea of what the experience feels like. It's very interactive. Your teams will be working, you'll be presenting. This is a woman presenting to several other parish leaders what their team discussed and what their team is going to be working on. And then, of course, your team will have time together around the table to talk, to workshop ideas, and to connect. That's Claire Henning. That's our co-founder there, who came to visit us at our last gathering. And at the end, you'll present your action steps and your plan to the other parishes. And so you all get to learn from each other and hear ideas of what each other are doing. And maybe if two of you are trying the same thing, you'll say, hey, after this gathering, let's get together in about a week and let's get our leaders together from both of our parishes and let's help create this thing together. So that is it.
Good.
Let me stop sharing here. The day will run from 9 a.m. to, I believe, 4:30 p.m. And as I said, lunch is included, but it'll have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is like evaluating what we're currently doing. The middle is exploring and learning, and then the end is creating a plan. And then you leave. And then, as I said, we'll meet with you twice after that to help further your plan.
Okay.
Any
Yeah.
questions?
How many people do you recommend come from a parish? And what position should they be in at the parish?
Great question. And these workshops are different topics. This one is parishioner engagement. As I said, there'll be other ones that have different topics, like reaching young families or growing volunteers. So I would look at this idea of parishioner engagement. Who interacts with parishioners the most? Who, if you have, every parish has different roles. If you have a director of evangelization, that would be a great person to have. But I would say faith formation. I would say anyone that works with families. I would say the couple of the key leaders, if you can't have the pastor, that's great. It's always great to have the decision maker in the room. But
Mm,
deacons, people that are creating the plans for the future of your parish. And then, as I
gotcha.
said, we'll give you a lot of these resources that you can bring back and even have a larger meeting of your own. But the fee includes 4 people,
Oh, okay.
and if you want to bring more than that, you can. It's just $50 a person extra. To
Okay. And what was the fee again for the
the
four?
cost for the day and the 2 consulting sessions is 1,500,
Okay.
and as I said, that includes 4 people, and you
Yeah. And the meal. Yeah. And that's in Orlando. Yeah.
it's in Winter Park, yeah.
Winter Park.
But
Okay.
Terry, as I mentioned, we'd love to do this in other towns, in
Hmm.
other cities, and what we hope is that something like this, the first time we come through, kind of probably the main parishes that are going to say yes are the ones that are kind of the go-getters that are
Hmm.
inclined to this sort of thing. But when they share with their friends and their deanery and different people around them, there's those people that are the innovators, then there's like the early adopters, then the kind of like mid adopters. And
Hmm.
over time, as the word spreads, people gain more confidence of, oh, I could try that.
Hmm. Okay.
Terry, did you have any questions?
So how many parishes are going to be in Orlando? Like when you go to Orlando, like how many parishes?
Sure. Our goal is 10 parishes. We feel like that's a good number
Okay.
to provide diverse learnings from what other parishes are doing, but it's not so big that everybody doesn't get a chance to connect. So
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good day. I wish I could go. Wish I was in Orlando.
Hmm. Yeah. It sounds real good. I'll have to talk to, well, what we did, we're kind of stuck in a rut, I think, in our church. We had 2 consultants come and gave a talk, and we had pillars. Okay, the church had, well, we call them pillars, like 4 pillars, like charity, accompaniment, repentance, and evangelism. Okay, so we had those in place. So they just gave us, we had a meeting with maybe about 50 people, and just everybody gave out different words that would fit. And then we kind of incorporated those words into each pillar. But then they left and really didn't do that much. They just kind of sent back the words that we had incorporated. And we're kind of stuck, we don't. I got chosen to be head of the evangelism pillar. And but I'm a revert Catholicism. I was in it for 50 years, away for 20 and back after 20 years in evangelical churches, and really came back very excited about the Catholic Church. So that's really why I got involved, because I never was prior to my initial 50 years. But I think this would be good, because it seems like you're going to be more involved. That was where all of our people were not, and the guys who helped us really weren't involved. I mean, they were nice guys and everything, but and for a day and gone, and never really had
Yeah.
much interaction. And so I've been kind of foundering, trying to do, proceed with our church's evangelism pillar. But I probably need more ideas, more help with that. And I've been trying to sign up for Bishop Barron's evangelism course. So I started that, but you don't get much feedback from that.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of the feedback. But I think I'll try to get if I get our parish priest, the head priest, to come, that'd be great. If I can't get him, I'll see if I can get one of the deacons to come.
Well, we are recording this, and we'd be happy to share it with you if you want to have them watch
Okay.
it or share it.
Oh yeah, I think I'd like to show that too with him, because I think I'm the only one from our parish listening in today.
Yeah.
Uh, so, yeah, I would like to pass this on to him.
Okay,
That'd be great.
great. Well, yeah, like
And
you said, just someone talking to you and leaving doesn't really help much, right? It might
yeah,
inspire us in the moment, but you as a team need to talk and create goals and create steps, and then people need to take ownership of those, and that's
you know,
where it happens.
I like interacting, the idea of
Yeah.
interacting with the other
Mhm.
parent
Yeah.
too. We didn't get to do that, and maybe some people already have some success and can help us out in like evangelism.
Yeah.
We're an older population too. That's what we're finding a little frustrating. I don't know. They just don't seem to get involved.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm trying to do things like I'm trying to bring in the Shroud of Turin, a guy in St. Pia who gives an excellent talk on the Shroud of Turin, and
Mhm.
present that. See if that's. I figure that'd be a good evangelism tool, to attract Catholics, non-Catholics, atheists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Love it.
it'll get
We got
people talking for sure, right?
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I need some help with is getting Catholics who've fallen away, which I was, for 20 years, get them back. So that'd be great to get some help with some advice on that.
Mhm.
So I don't want to be too strong armed, So I just got so I guess what's the word? By listening to the different Protestant pastors, Scott Hahn, came back to the Catholic Church.
Hmm.
He was a big influence on me, and all his teachings and his talks, very helpful. Going back to the Church Fathers, studying them. But I don't know if that would be helpful for getting other non-Catholic, reverts or Catholics, getting them to be reverts or not.
I mean, these are some of what we'll be talking about. Every human is different, and there's as
Okay.
many ways to re-engage parishioners as there are people, right? That
Mhm.
for something that might be really attractive and provocative, and something that would pique your curiosity, for another person, they might say, no, that's not for me. So we can't really
Right.
have a one and done strategy.
Okay.
But one thing I do know is that attraction is way more effective than obligation.
Hmm.
If obligation would work, they would have never left. So
Right. Right.
how do we attract them in a way that connects with their heart
Yeah.
and their needs in life?
Right.
So yeah, these are the kind of things that we'll talk about.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I like the idea.
Hmm.
Great. Well,
I,
Eileen, did you want to share anything?
yeah, I did actually. I'm really enjoying the conversation. I would say, being at some of the parish catalyst workshops, and seeing sort of the parish teams come in. Some of them are coming in sort of with long faces and thinking, "Here we go again,"
Oh yeah.
another program, another training, or whatever. And within a few hours, you see the light come from inside out. And they get so excited because it's not the same old, same old. It really is about them creating their own and having a voice and really coming together as a team. And it's just miraculous, really, to see it. And Ed, I loved what you said about sort of the reverts or whatever. And if we can open people's hearts and minds, right, regardless of whether they decide to come back or not, that's really the goal, right? As Catholics, I think, and as Christians, right? So all of this lends itself to people understanding that they have a voice. That's the one other thing that Renew does as an organization is, we were founded on small groups, right? The small group experience where people are coming together and actually sharing their doubts, their faith, their questions, and things like that. And that no one's holier than thou. To John's point, we're all sort of struggling as human beings, trying to, find our way. So all of this works in that very down to earth, real way of practical and really listening to each other. And then, as you said, and John said, listening to other parishes that have struggled with the same thing or maybe different things, and learning from each other. It's just a dynamic environment.
All right, folks. Well, we're gonna, as I said, we recorded this. We're gonna send you a link to the recording if you want to share it with anybody.
Yeah.
And you'll have my personal email, and I'll include Eileen on there too. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us.
Great. Okay, John. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
blessed day.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.